Hey everybody, brand new vlog. So I'm still at the parents' house. They're out of town. They went to London. My mother, she sings at a church choir, and they got invited to go out and sing at a few churches, I guess, over in London. And so while they're gone for the next couple of weeks, they asked me to look after the house and to look after their dogs. They got two of them, Maddie and Abby, as I've actually shared on my Twitter. And they're two golden retrievers, and and I've actually known them ever since they were puppies. So, and well, it's kind of late here now, but I got a little something I'd like to talk about. I know this is old news and this is old hash, and I do apologize for the video quality off of my webcam. My webcam does this weird thing where after I've unplugged it and then replug it, the video quality on it kind of degrades, and it's only after a while that it gets back to where it was. Let's talk about Anita Sarikeesian, shall we? I've never actually watched any one of her videos. I've heard a lot about what she's had to say, quote unquote, what she has to say about gaming and against gaming, and well, I understand it's not so much against gaming, it's against this sexual stereotype that we have in gaming, like the whole princess in peril stereotype that's really only used in the Mario games and was always just used as a simple story template for your video game. And I've never watched her stuff or anything like that. I don't support her in any way. I think, yeah, she's a hypocrite, essentially. I mean, if she wanted to make a more compelling argument, how about you? And the only reason I say this is because I watched a video that somebody else posted in their talks about Anita Sarikeesian, and how much of a hypocrite she is, and blah, 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 blah. And they were talking about how she was claiming how in Hitman Absolution there are scenes where you are told and rewarded if you go around and beat up and kill female civilians, especially that are strippers, and that if you go around and kill them and then pose them in awkward and disturbing ways, that you're rewarded for it. And I've played Hitman Absolution. Not all of it. A good amount. And what this person pointed out in this video is that, those scenes, and in fact, in the game, you're penalized if you kill civilians. You're not rewarded. I mean, you did know that about the actual game, right? You're a hitman. A big part of the game mechanic is that it's all about stealth. In fact, that whole scene, you're kind of meant to go past that scene and not interact with those girls at all. In fact, as I've understand it, there have been many Let's Players who've done Let's Plays of Hitman Absolution, and when that scene comes, they just go right past the girls and completely ignore them. I haven't come to this scene. I'm sure I would ignore it too if I wanted to just do the main storyline of the mission. But, yeah, it was pretty bad, and it did make me a little upset. As a gamer, it made me upset. I mean, you can think of better examples in more mainstream gaming. Hell, she takes an example from Watch Dogs, where there's a scene where you're infiltrating. I forget what it's called, but it's basically it was a sex trafficking ring, I believe, and they were doing an auction off for all these women, and this is this is something that you've infiltrated that you're meant to stop. That was the whole key of the mission. In fact, that was a trailer for the damn game where you infiltrate a sex group smuggling ring that abducts girls and uses them and then sells them to the wealthy. That was a trailer for the damn game. And now you're going to try to use the claim like, oh, well, see this? This is a perfect example of complete and utter sexism and, you know, and blah, blah, blah. It's meant to reward you. No, that's... But what I was getting to was that, yeah, she's clearly a hypocrite. Clearly she does not play the games that she's talking about. What it seems like to me what she does is that she goes around, probably on YouTube, to various other people's videos, and she probably captures a lot of their game footage, probably looking for the best bits, and then chops them to shit, and then points a finger saying, yeah, see, this is a perfect example right here, and cuts out all context and kind of delivers it as is. You know, I was about to say it kind of reminds me of the same controversy that we had back in the 90s about video games and television being too violent and all that. Hell, a perfect example of that was when Bill O'Reilly, or at least one of the Fox News shows, where they claimed that one of the Mass Effect games promoted rape, and that it was also a sex simulator video game. You know, it was just a heavy exaggeration, and it was loaded. You know, it was just loaded with shit, and it was even more relevant when they brought the developers of the game onto their show, but they wouldn't let them talk. And then one of them just got so frustrated that he took off his mic and left. So, and I'd like to say, for everybody who keeps on mounting all these attacks against Anita Sarikeesian, and for people who like to do videos talking about her, and I know this includes me, but this is the first and only time that I'm going to do a video talking about her. Because somebody like that, who does these sort of things for maybe some of the right reasons, because I'm pretty sure there are good examples of games that do the sort of things that she's talking about, but they're not well known, they're not popular, they're not in the mainstream, they're not really even on or really available for mass consumption. Like, they wouldn't be on Steam. You know, they wouldn't be available on any of the major electronic sellers. You know, like you probably wouldn't find them on Amazon, you know, or anything like that. These are underground games that are made by people who just hate. You know, it's like the equivalent of going online and finding the most racist video game that's probably ever been made, you know, and you're only going to be able to play it on this random online website where you're going around as a white person in the most poorly programmed and terribly looking graphical game there is, and you're going around and you're killing black people and such. But I have a solution to Anita Sarikeesian. Just ignore her. That's all there is to it. I mean, she's made it fully apparent that she's not going to have a real argument with anybody who has a valid argument to make against her and point out how horribly wrong and hypocritical she's being. I mean, if she's perfectly willing to disable her comment section and her rating system, then she's obviously not the kind of person who's not meant to be taken seriously. in any way. You know, she's just like any other common internet troll who's making a living out of lying. So just ignore her. That's all there is to it. I mean, hell, I mean, it worked with the irate gamer, didn't it? Everybody ignored him, and eventually he went away. You know, and that's really all I want to talk about. So, alright, I'm gonna cut this short. Anyway, actually, you know, let me know what you guys think about the whole Anita Sarikeesian, excuse me, about the whole Anita Sarikeesian thing. I mean, have you actually watched, you know, more of her stuff? I mean, I understand that a lot of her stuff is just more of the same. Just making up bullshit about perfectly good games, or that she selects specific games that are, you know, that are meant to be exploitive and such, that are not really meant to be taken seriously and have no real message. They're all just about stupid fun. So, but, oh well. Well, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.